Okay. Good morning, Malacanang Press Corps. Happy Monday. Welcome sa regular press briefing ni Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And these are the good news for Good News Monday. First, on the gains that we realized as a result of our ASEAN hosting, in addition to the goodwill and rapport, we have the following from the United States: 14.3 US million dollars for the rehabilitation of Marawi City, and $2 million to support our ongoing drug war. For China, 14 cooperation agreements on areas such as the economy, infrastructure, transportation, environment, intellectual property, national security, and finance. From Japan, the first phase of the Metro Manila subway, a total of 46 billion pesos, will be provided by the Japanese government, while a loan amounting to a further 4 billion will be provided to cover the construction of a bypass road along the Philippine-Japan Friendship Highway in Plaridel, Bulacan. Further, the Japanese government committed an additional billion for the procurement of equipment, materials for counterterrorism such as Coast Watch radars and reconstruction of Marawi, all currency in Philippine peso. From Russia, 8 bilateral agreements on such areas as criminality, extradition, energy, communication, education, intellectual property, audits, and accounts. From Canada, $17.8 million for the sexual health and empowerment projects for women in the Philippines. From New Zealand, 3 agreements on education, tourism, and the geothermal industry. We were likewise able to push mutual interests such as general system of preference with the United States and to start exploring talks on an FTA or a Philippine-US free trade agreement. We were able to improve market access for Philippine bananas in Australia, Japan, and Korea. We had talks on producing cheaper medicines with India and talks with pharmaceutical companies to set up in the Philippines and cooperation against sea piracy threat in Sulu with Australia. On further good news, the Cagayan de Oro Coastal Road opens after 20 years. The DPWH led the opening ceremony of the 12.77-kilometer Cagayan de Oro Coastal Road last November 10, which is expected to lessen the travel time by 20 minutes from Laguindingan to Cagayan de Oro. This is a 4 billion coastal road which will serve as a bypass starting from Barangay Gusa in the eastern side all the way to the western side in Barangay Igpit, Opol in Misamis Oriental, connecting 6 barangays in the city and 2 barangays in Opol. More good news, we have the New Bohol Airport's first test flight. The OTR, NEDA, and the Office of the Cabinet Secretary successfully conducted the first test flight of the New Bohol Airport in Panglao last November 6. The Bohol Airport is now at 53.38 completion. It's on track to be finished by June 2018. We have scheduled for commercial operations by August of 2018. The 7.8 billion airport can accommodate 7 aircrafts, both domestic and international. This is funded by JICA under the Official Development Assistance and is designed to be the country's first eco airport and green gateway to the world. 2 news materials. First, during the bilateral talks between President Duterte and the Chinese Premier, President Duterte offered to the People's Republic of China the privilege to operate the 3rd telecoms carrier in the country. This comes after the Philippine government signed with an affiliate of Facebook a project entitled the Luzon Bypass of the Pacific Light Cable Network, which would provide broad bandwidth of 2 terabits per second. This 2 terabits is equivalent to the current capacity of the duopoly operators today. I was also asked to explain that the process of breaking this duopoly should have been sooner. This agreement with the subsidiary of Facebook should have been signed as early as December 2016. It was not signed by the former secretary of the DICT, and this was one of the areas pinpointed by cabinet investigators as an area of conflict of interest for the former secretary of DICT. It was further reported by the Special Investigating Committee that the former DICT secretary likewise may have prevented the earlier breakup of the duopoly by delaying the use of satellites as viable option. There was a realization period of almost 5 years, and meanwhile, this leaves the duopoly, this preserves for the duopoly the market. No? It was also observed that the initial cost for a national broadband plan appeared excessive at 200 billion because the recommendation did not consider the contribution that could be made by existing broadband providers such as the National Grid Corporation, NGCP, the National Transmission Corporation, fiber optic lines, and the Philippine National Railway Communication Project. Now, it would appear also that the PASEC under the scheme being pushed by the former secretary of the ICT, the NBP terrestrial backbone would still have left the duopoly with the right to connect the end users to the backbone. No? And this after government would have spent already 77 billion pesos. No? So the good news is the consumers can look forward now to better telecommunications, not just in terms of cellular technology, but also in terms of internet speed as well as access. This is the latest instance of the president proving that he has the political will to do what is necessary to benefit the Filipino people. I repeat, the announcement is that the duopoly, the telecoms duopoly, is about to end with the entry of the Facebook subsidiary as well as the offer by the president to the People's Republic of China to operate the third telecoms carrier. The Philippine president is so serious about this that he has instructed that all applications be filed and acted upon directly by the Office of the Executive Secretary. On another issue, I would like to confirm that General Santiago was let go by the president, not only because of his statements on the mega rehab centers being a mistake. He was also let go because of complaints that General Santiago was using taxpayers' money for junkets abroad. One of the complaints that reached the president was a trip to Austria, where in addition to bringing family members, General Santiago brought 6 of his closest personnel, including a Girl Friday. There was also complaints that General Santiago may have accepted consideration from major drug players. Well, the complaint specified, although this is only from a complaint, that General Santiago may have benefited from a house which may have been given to him by the late Parohinog. That's a complaint on file with the Office of the President. It was by the Union of PIDEA. Okay, that concludes our press briefing this afternoon.
MPC, wait, Pia. May follow-up question about, okay, use the microphone, please, Pia.
Sir, sorry, what's the name of the Chinese company who will come in?
None yet.
Ah, wala
It
pa.
was an offer for the People's Republic of China to operate the third carrier. There has not been a designated company that will act as the third player.
And this Facebook subsidiary is not the same as this.
No, it is not. The
These are two
Facebook
different-
subsidiary is about a backbone infrastructure project for the internet. It's about the laying, actually, of cables that would give us 2 terabits of connectivity. No? That's equivalent to the current capacity of the duopoly.
Question, Joseph Moro.
Let's go to General Santiago. So he's the only one who was fired because of junkets. There are no others.
It's a very strong message to the bureaucracy. The president will not tolerate junkets
Okay,
and
when did he
unnecessary travels abroad.
All right, first, when did he take the Austria trip?
The what?
The Austria trip?
According to the complaint received by the Office of the President, I will quote so that I will not make a mistake. Okay. Travel to Vienna, Austria. No? The complaint was dated October 25, 2017.
That's the complaint. When was the trip?
There was no mention of the date. Oh, yeah. And then there was also mention of a trip to the United States, indicating last month, meaning 1 month before October, a trip to the United States where he, quote, allegedly bringing with him his mistress and selective favorite DDB employees.
All right, sir. And then the other one, the house given by Paruhinog, when was this given, if the complaint so states?
Again, I'm just quoting from the complaint. We believe our chairman, General Santiago, is a liability to administration, previously as aired on TV5 Action Tanghali News by Mr. Gary De Leon last August 2017, reportedly said that he was a recipient of Big Ozami's mansion given by the Paruhinog family during his stint as director of PIDEA. Now take note that I'm only quoting from the complaint. Okay? So this is the complaint filed against General Santiago, and it is our position that although the stated reason for the fact that he has ceased to be director of the agency is because of his complaints about the mega rehab being a waste of money, that there were also complaints, one complaint against him filed by the union of PIDEA, which of course had to be looked into.
Sir, the Austria trip, you said that he included the family members plus 6 closest friends and a girl Friday. You mean what? By girl Friday, what do you mean by
Miss
that?
Edith Judy B. Mendoza, his girl Friday, and coffee server.
It's Judy Mendoza.
Yes.
Okay.
His girl Friday and coffee server.
Coffee server?
Coffee server.
Okay.
Now, questions?
Joseph.
Sir, ito yung sinasabi ni Presidente na even a whiff is enough for him to decide to fire you, right?
Yes, that shows his resolve against graft and corruption. As far as he's concerned, you don't even have to be proven. If you're tainted in any way by corruption, he will not hesitate to fire individuals. He has done so many times in the past, and General Santiago is only the latest of them.
Okay, thanks.
Ina Andolong.
Sir, balik po muna dun sa DICT. We know that the former secretary is no longer around, in office. But will actions be taken against him considering yung binabanggit nyo na he delayed yung pag-break supposedly yung duopoly, or meron po bang any liability on his part na baka habulin pa po sa kanya?
We leave that to the Ombudsman and to the Anti-Graft Commission, which was created by the President. It's without prejudice.
Mhm. And also, you mentioned that the OAS will basically be processing or helping out yung Chinese company who may come in. Did the President give any deadline as to when or how soon he wants his third player to...
He mentioned upon submission of documents, it will take 45 days to decide whether or not it's a go or no go. That's how serious the president is in allowing a third-party carrier to come in.
Sir, and dun sa kay Joseph, yung sa complaint naman po filed against Mr. Santiago, was this investigated or verified? Or again, I mean, what, if ever, what due process was he given based dahil dun sa complaint?
Let's just say that the complaint was overtaken by events because the president himself said that he decided to fire General Santiago because of his statement that the mega drug facility is a mistake. He in fact said that General Santiago should have taken this up privately with him. He would have listened, but it was wrong for General Santiago to make this public.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, on General Santiago, question, MPC? Deo de Guzman.
Sir, sinabi po nyo, morning po sir, nasibak si General Santiago. Meron po bang susunod na kaso dahil meron siyang may reklamo, meron po bang isusunod na kaso against General Santiago? Kasi po, during the previous year, dun sa nisibak po si DILG Secretary Mike Sueno, wala naman pong kaso na sumunod. And all others na government officials na sinibak ng presidente dahil daw po a whiff of corruption, pero wala naman pong kasong naisampa laban sa mga ito. Pero kung meron naman po, pwede nyo po bang maibahagi sa amin yan?
Again, this is without prejudice to further criminal investigation. But as you see, the Office of the President only has jurisdiction over the administrative aspect of the case. The criminal aspect will have to be taken up by the Ombudsman, given that all these officials are within the jurisdiction of the Sandigan Bayan.
Pero wala po bang isasampa na kaso ang executive department sa ombudsman laban dun sa mga tao na yun?
That's without prejudice. As I said, the most that we could do in the executive as part of the administrative process is to fire them, which is the ultimate sanction, no? But without prejudice to criminal liability. The matter could also be sent to the DOJ, but they have an understanding there's an ongoing understanding between the Ombudsman and the DOJ that if it is cognizable by the Sandigan Bayan, even if the DOJ conducts preliminary investigation, the result of the investigation must still be turned over to the Ombudsman. In other words, it's ultimately the Ombudsman that will conduct the preliminary investigation.
Thank you, sir.
Questions about General Santiago? Other issue? Ina Andolong. Microphone, please.
Sir, you've been stressing that a whiff of corruption hindi nga po ito-tolerate ng Pangulo. But how then would you explain, I believe a few weeks ago, it was reported that two former customs officials linked to the 6.4 billion peso illegal drug shipment from China was basically moved at ngayon ay working sa DOTR na po. How then would you explain that?
What I do know is that the DOJ has already concluded its preliminary investigation on this 6 billion drug haul. So they will be filing information in court, and I have no information if the two individuals you're referring to will also be charged.
No, thank you, sir.
Okay. Question? John Rosales.
Good morning, spokes. MRT Chairman Robert Sobrepeña said the government is suffering from lack of management expertise in handling the MRT, and proof to that is the string of operation breakdowns of the railway facility in the past weeks. I would like to ask the side of Malacanang, is the administration open to returning the management of the MRT to the private sector?
Well, unang-una po, hindi tayo naguhugas ng kamay. Tinatanggap po natin ang paghamon dyan sa MRT na yan, at ang presidente na mismo ang humingi ng paumanhin dahil nga dun sa palaging pagsira ng ating MRT. Gayunpaman, alam po natin na nagsimula ang problema sa dati pang administrasyon. Gumagawa po ng hakbang ang ating presidente para maibsan ang pagdurusa ng ating mga mananakay dyan. Sinimulan na po yan sa pagsibak dun sa Busan bilang kontraktor ng MRT. At sigurado po ako na ang DOTR ay araw na lang po siguro binibilang at magsasampa rin sila ng mga kasong kriminal laban dun sa mga tao sa nakalipas na administrasyon na talaga naman pong sila ang dahilan sa paghihirap ng ating mga mananakay ngayon. Gayunpaman, with the President assuming that he will be responsible for the MRT, let us give the President the opportunity, to rectify the many problems that his administration inherited from the past dispensation. But we accept the challenge, we are moving forward, and we promise better MRT to our riding public. We will show the same political will that the President has shown in his fight against illegal drugs, in his fight against corruption, in bringing this vital service of transportation to the people as well.
Thank you, sir.
Question, JP Bencito.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir, on MRT pa rin. Sir, there are two congressmen who are calling for who are demanding for the ouster of Transportation Chief Arthur Togade. Can we get a comment from the palace on this one?
Well, gaya po ng sinabi ko, ang mga problema po ay namana at kami naman po ay nagmamasid at nag-oobserba sa mga hakbang na ginagawa ni Secretary Tugade. Tingin ko po hindi pa po dumarating yung panahon na kinakailangan na tanggalin si Secretary Tugade. He enjoys the full trust and confidence of the President. The President has said he will back up Secretary Tugade in whatever he may need to effect immediate reform of the MRT.
Okay, Deo de Guzman.
Morning again, sir. Sir, sabi po ni Senator Poe, hindi naman po dapat hanggang ngayon ay sinisisi pa rin sa past administration yung problema sa MRT. At mahigit isang taon na rin po ang Duterte administration na dapat daw po ay gumagawa na rin o nakagawa na rin ng paraan para masolusyon yung problema na ito. Any reaction on that, sir?
Tama naman po yun. Kaya nga po sinabi ko kanina na tinatanggap po ng Presidente ang responsibilidad para magkaroon ng malawakang reforma dyan sa MRT na maibsan ang problema ng ating mga mananakay. Humingi lang po kami ng panahon dahil unang-una, yung mga kontrata po na ipinasok ng administrasyon, unang-unan po dyan yung kontrata ng busan, kinakailangan po yung marisin, kinakailangan po yung mapawalang visa. At asahan nyo po, magkakaroon pa ng napakadaming demandahan dyan dahil hindi naman papayag ang busan na bilyones sa kanyang kontrata, bigla na lang tatanggalin sa kanya. Kaya nga po ang sabi ng Presidente, nung una, kung kinakailangan magkaroon pa ng special powers para dito sa MRT, yun ang kanyang nais magkaroon. At ang Kongreso naman po ay patuloy ang proseso para mabigyan siya ng ganyang mga kapangyarihan. Pero uulitin ko po, we are not resorting to finger pointing. Sinasabi lang po namin lahat ng mga naging problema, yung pagpapalit ng maintenance provider at pagtatalaga ng busan, yan po ay ginawa sa nakaraang administrasyon. Hindi naman po pwedeng overnight na mapawalang bisa yan. Sa katunayan po, dadaan pa yan sa legal na proseso. Inaasahan po namin lalaban ng busan, pero gagamitin po natin ang political will para mapabuti ang MRT na yan. Kaya naman po gobyerno na ang nag-take over kasi nga po kung magtatalaga ng bago, di patuloy pa ang demandahan. Samantalang gobyerno na nag-take over, bagamat pwede magdemanda ang busan, anong reklamo niya? Hindi naman binigay sa kahit ibang pribadong kumpanya. Walang reklamo ng korupsyon din na po pwedeng maibato sa gobyerno.
Okay, MPC questions? Roscos? Follow-up ba yan MRT? Sino may pa-follow-up ng MRT? Other issue na tayo, Roscos.
Good morning, sir. Following the statement of the President on Saturday na pagka lumala po ang suliranin sa droga ay maaari po ulit maibalik ang lead ng anti-drug war sa Philippine National Police. Do we expect this anytime soon po, sir?
Well, yan po yung sinabi ng Presidente. Hindi naman yung sinabi na sa lalong mabilis sa panahon. So tingin ko, pinag-aaralan pa rin yan ng Presidente. Pero meanwhile, nakakakuha po kami ng reports from PIDEA na record po ata yung mga nakakalap na pinagbabayawal ng gamot ng PIDEA. Bukas po, dadaling ko yung figura na yan. Pero ang reports na natatanggap, record hold po ang PIDEA in terms of actual seizure of prohibited drugs.
Sir, isang topic pa po. Wala po ba tayong update regarding po sa recommendation ng MICC na i-lift yung open pit ban?
I verified this personally with the President. He says that the ban on new open pit mining remains.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. On illegal drugs, question? Other issue, Pia Gutierrez.
Sir, yun doon po sa offer ni President Duterte sa China, did the President give any explanation why the offer was made to China and not to any other country, sir?
Well, the president said that China has the capital and the technology, no, to provide efficient telecom service, no. With the number of subscribers that Chinese telecoms company have in China, there can be no doubt that they're amongst the biggest in the world, no. Consider also the proximity and the fact that we want to avail of as much economic advantage that we could arising from the renewed friendly ties with China.
Sir, on another topic, kasi matatapos na yung taon, but is the palace confident that the tax reform bill can be passed before the end of the year?
We believe so, no? Dahil alam naman po ng ating mga senador at yan po ay nag-aantay na lamang na aksyon ng Senado na yung ating Build program po ay nakasalalay dito sa tax reform bill na ito. So naniniwala po ako na hindi naman matatapos ng taon na hindi maipapasaya ng Senado.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Joseph Morong.
Sir, just very short on the U.S. assistance. Yung 2 million, in what form po ito?
Well, it was said to be to support the ongoing war on drugs.
Like what? Sa law enforcement, training for our police?
Well, it hasn't been specified,
Okay.
but it was a 2 million grant, no? It's not a loan in support of the drug war.
All right, sir. Si Chief Justice Sereno, you've answered the question before, but merong interview ulit sa Bawal na Pasaway later. She said that yung impeachment is an attack on democracy and not just her because there are trumped-up charges against her, and if the president or the government can do this to her, it can be done to any ordinary citizen. Your comment on that?
Kaya po meron tayong proseso sa impeachment para malaman ng taong bayan ang katotohanan. So kung trump-up charges po yan, lalabas at lalabasan naman po yan sa Kongreso, unang-una, at sa Senado. So hayaan na po natin ang proseso na magpatuloy.
Okay. Last question na. Philip Tobesa. Follow-up muna.
Sir, good morning. Follow-up lang po dun sa open pit mining. Na-presenta po ba yung sa kabinete yung MICC recommendation to lift the ban?
Well, unfortunately po, I had Christian Amanpour on my first cabinet meeting. I had to leave. I was not able to finish the cabinet meeting. But I assure you that this is one of the instances when I personally asked the president, no, if there's been a change in policy. And he says that there's still no new policy on this. There's still a ban on new open pit mining.
So he's rejecting the MICC recommendation?
That's the response I got. I'm not sure about whether or not the MCC recommendation has reached the president. I will verify.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Follow-up, open other issue. Maricel Halili, TV5.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir, just a clarification on the President's statement last Saturday saying na balak i-declare ang NPA as one of the terrorist groups in the country. How will it affect, sir, yung peace talks between the government? I understand na suspended na. But I recall the President also said that he supports the effort of Mayor Inday Sara to talk with the NPA. So how do you reconcile that, sir?
Well, to begin with, yung plano pong deklarasyon na terorista ang NPA, hindi po yung bago. Ang Estados Unidos po, nung naisabatas ang Patriot Act, isa sa pinakaunang na classify as terrorist group ay yung NPA. Ang European Union Council po, no, ay na-classify na rin ng NPA bilang isang terrorist group. Kung magdedeklara ng ganyan po ang presidente, ibig sabihin, sumasang-ayon ng presidente na talagang terorista mga NPA, matapos kasi yung lahat ng kanyang mga ginawang hakbang upang magkaroon ng kapayapaan, no, sa pamamagitan ng usaping kapayapaan nga sa NPA, na sa tingin niya ay dapat nang panandali ang itigil dahil habang nakikipag-usap ng kapayapaan ng gobyerno, wala naman tigil ng NPA sa pag-aatake sa ating mga kasundaluhan. So hanggang hindi niya nakikita ang sinseridad sa parte ng CPP-NPA na talagang nais nila ng pangmatagalan na kapayapaan, tuloy po ang laban sa NPA at itong deklarasyon ni Presidente na ika-classify niya ang terrorist groups na ang NPA bilang isang terrorist group is an indication po that for now, peace negotiations are suspended.
Pero sir, how do you reconcile that? Because like what I mentioned earlier po, sabi rin ni Presidente kasi na sinusuportahan niya yung efforts ni Mayor Inday Sara for a peace talks locally with the NPA. Does it mean that binabawi na rin yung position na yon, sir?
Hindi naman po. Hayaan natin na magtuloy yung pag-uusap nila Mayor Sara. At kung magtagumpay naman yan, baka po pwede maging modelo yan na ang usaping kapayapaan ay magiging lokal.
Sir, just one last po. Patanong lang po ni Prince Goles. Sir, pwede daw phone-in question, sir. Pwede raw po bang makahingi ng reaction with regards dun sa CA ruling affirming Mabilog's dismissal from service?
Well, of course, that's an affirmation of the earlier decision of the Ombudsman, dismissing Mabilog from the service. That's a judicial affirmation which we respect and we agree with.
Okay.
Thank you,
Last three questions. JP, Jopel, Joseph Morong, and Tuesday. Last four, sir.
Hi, sir. Just balik lang po sa Reds. Sir, following the President's pronouncements, won't this run contrary to the spirit of the anti-subversion law which outlawed the membership to the CPP and all that links to the communists, sir?
Not really, because of the Human Security Act. The Human Security Act imposes criminal responsibility on those that will perpetrate acts of terrorism. So they're not punished for mere membership, and you're correct, mere punishment on the basis of mere membership was declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, but they're being punished because of acts of terrorism being conducted by the NPA, including attacks on civilians.
Okay, Jopel?
Sir, ibang issue. Regarding po sa transport sector, kumusta sir yung ano ng gobyerno sa transportation modernization program? Kasi may issue na lumalabas sir yung regarding sa Euro 4 and dito sa Solar Egypt. Mas okay daw po kasi sir yung Solar Egypt. Ano pong stand ng Malacanang regarding this issue?
Tuloy po ang modernization ng ating mga jeepneys. Yung detalye po niyan, bahala na po ang DOTR dyan. Pero ang huling binitawang salita po ng Presidente, gusto niya as early as next year, matuloy na itong proseso ng modernization.
Okay, thank you, Jopel. Last two, Joseph Morong and Tuesday New. Okay, Tuesday New. Microphone.
Ito na. Oo nga. Hi, sir. Yung nabanggit po ni Presidente last Saturday na itong week daw na ito, masusundan pa po yung pagsibak niya sa iba pang mga government officials dahil sa junket. Ito pa po bang kay General Santiago, isa na yon? Sino po pa kaya yung mga nakalinya for this week daw po?
Well, unfortunately, hindi ako sinabihan pa ni Presidente. Ang sinabi lang sa akin, isiwalat na meron natanggap na reklamo rin labang kay General Santiago dahil sa kanyang mga junkets.
So, antayin na lang namin, sir.
Antayin na lang po natin yan.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, last question, Joseph Morong.
So yung sa NPA, no? Alright, so they will be classified and will be treated as terrorists only if they commit acts under the HSA, correct?
Yes.
Pero wala ba siyang effect na parang red baiting ka na ngayon because you will be declaring them as terrorist organizations and therefore in an operational sense, you can, paano yan? If they do not commit any crime under the HSA, wala lang? Parang ganun?
Kasi naman, yung HSA, may mga predicate crimes din na
Correct.
kinakailangan gawin. With the additional element that their intention is to create terror in the mind of the general public. So it cannot be red baiting because there must be overt acts committed, which are already penalized by the revised penal code and special laws. Discharge of explosives, yung mga ganyan, murder, that's already part of it. Nagiging punishable lang siya under HSA when as already existing felonies at yung mga crimes na punishable under the revised penal code are referred to as felonies are committed in furtherance of spreading terror in the minds of the general public. So there is no such thing as a separate act of terrorism. It refers to an already existing crime committed in pursuit of promoting terrorism in the minds of the general public.
So if and when the President declares the NPA, CPP, as, you're referring to just the NPA or the whole triumvirate?
I think the President mentioned the New People's Army as the armed group itself. he has not referred to the CPP per se,
Okay, so just the NPA.
because that's covered already by a Supreme Court decision.
Okay. So, sir, is it a crime to be a communist or to be left-leaning in this government?
No, it is not a crime. It is a crime when you take up arms.
Okay, thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.
Sorry, may pahabol pa, sir. Deo de Guzman, ito na yung last question.
Last question, sir. Last Saturday, sir, lumabas po ang pangalan nyo doon sa sinabi nitong si House Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez na kayo daw po ay isa sa mga tatakbo under the PDP Laban slate for the senatorial candidates on 2019.
I think I already issued a clarification
sir.
in this regard. I thank Speaker Alvarez for his continuing trust and confidence in me. However, I'm focused on my current job as a spokesperson. I am not at all thinking about 2019. To tell you the truth, I go day to day. This job entails surviving every day as it comes. No? So let me focus on this very delicate undertaking that I agreed to accept from the President. So I will be focused on doing my absolute best as spokesperson for the President.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. May follow-up ka, Joseph? Okay na? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed our Good News Monday.
Thank you, Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque. Thank you, Malacanang Press Corps. Back to our main studio sa Radyo Pilipinas and PTV.